Hello, everyone. Welcome to Brandy's Cards. It's Brandy here, and I am excited to craft with you today. So I just want to make sure that you can see me, and it looks like we are live. I am so thrilled to be here with you. Happy Friday night, fun night. Oh my gosh. So let's see who's here with me tonight. I see Diana's in here. Hi, Susan. And Megan, thank you for being in here with me. I appreciate you so much. And Miss Patty, hello. Mama Brigman is in here. And hi, Denise. It is so good to see you. And thank you for joining me for some of my other videos. I love your comments. You are the sweetest. And Amanda is in here with us today. So make sure y'all say hi to Miss Amanda. So if you see the typing today, she's going to be typing for me since I'm live with you and crafting with you today. So hi, Sharon. I'm so glad that you're in here with us. And Diana, gosh, please say hi and tell me where you're from. We've seen some folks from British Columbia in here, so welcome. It's so fun to see where everyone is from. That's right. So I'm just so excited to be here, and I'm so grateful that you're here with me tonight. The cards that I'm going to show you, I just have had so much fun making, really a lot of fun, and I hope that you give this technique a try. So it's called black ice. I really kind of refer to it as like faux metal. I love kind of to transform that foil and make it look metally. It's just really, really cool. I don't know if metally is a word, but we're going to go with it tonight. So I'm excited about that. Hi, Josephine, welcome. And Janet, Patricia, welcome. Oh, it's so good to see so many familiar faces. I hope y'all are doing well and staying cool. It has gotten like super toasty in a lot of places. I noticed, I think it was Susan, somebody has been talking about like 104. Yeesh, yikes, holy cow, I can't even imagine that. So it's just so good to see everybody in here. Just a couple of reminders. If you're one of my customers, so if you're a customer of Brandy's Cards, you should have already received your complimentary copy of the annual catalog. It's absolutely amazing. I hope that you love it as much as I do. I've been so inspired. And speaking of inspired, I now have the holiday catalog, and I am sure you have seen the cover online. Unfortunately, we can't open it until it goes live on July 1st. But I am thrilled to start creating and sharing projects with you. I just love the images in this holiday catalog. So I'm excited. I have a lot coming for you. And I'm hoping this weekend my family's going to a soccer game. So that's going to give me like a full day to create. So watch out. I have no idea. It's going to be a mess in here, but I'm going to have so much fun. I'll miss my family, of course. But, right, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm going to dive right into the holiday catalog and start creating. Now, there's a bird in there. Yes, if you have seen any unveilings and you've seen that bird, you can best bet that's my first go-to. I'm super excited about that stamp set. As a matter of fact, Megan asked me that the other day, what is your favorite? I can't remember the name of the set, but she called it. So I think she knows me pretty well. Okay, so that's the holiday catalog. So the holiday catalog, I purchased my catalogs and shipping through Stampin' Up. They should have shipped by the end of this week, so today. If you're a customer of Brandy's Cards, you'll be receiving one of these. It does take a week or two to get to you. So just keep your eye out for it. If for any reason by the end of the month you don't receive it, please let me know. Just reach out to me. I'd be happy to send you another one for sure. Sometimes they just get lost in the mail. It just happens. So just give me, shoot me an email or reach out and let me know. Otherwise, if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, please reach out. I'd love the opportunity to help you earn your business and answer any questions that you might have. All right, so hi Sharon Lake, thanks for being here from Washington. And it looks like Denise Streitman says small world, so I missed the conversation, but welcome. All right, so I think we're gonna get started. So let me show you a little sneak peek. So we're gonna do the black ice. And again, like I said, I kind of call it, I like to call it faux metal. So check out this one. This is a stamp set from our new holiday catalog. Yeah, so I'm going to show you a Christmas one Although I think we're going to do my favorite one first, is the Waves of Inspiration. So, you know, this set is honestly one of my favorites. And it's funny that I say that because I haven't had the opportunity to create with it yet. But I've definitely been looking at it for my masculine series. Speaking of my masculine series, I hope that you guys are enjoying that. Yeah, if you are, please give me some thumbs up. I hope that you have enjoyed my masculine series. I have another 4 weeks coming. Yeah, and I might even this weekend add to it. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I've had so much fun creating those for you. And the new beginner series has started too. So we have a lot going on here at BrandysCards. It's been a lot of fun. All right, so Waves of Inspiration. So let's start with this. So what I'm going to show you today is, let's go ahead, and this is the stamp set we're going to use. We're not actually using these coordinating dies today, so I'm going to set those aside, but I wanted to show you that you have the option to order those as a bundle if you choose to do so. I'm going to open up my annual catalog, and oh gosh, the catalog, I just love it. I get so many ideas out of my catalog. It's my little inspiration book, and I love it so much. And as I was trying to figure out, you know, which stamp sets that I was going to use, I honestly just flipped through this catalog over and over and over until I came up, like in my head, I could envision what I wanted to use. So today we're going to do that faux metal or black ice technique. So what you're going to need is you're going to need some foils. So I brought out the foils that I had. So let me reach over here and grab them. And so if you haven't seen, and I don't know that these are in the perfect order, but I tried to grab them. We have some rose gold. And so these here, I believe, are my rose gold, which is going to be really hard to see on camera. But I have rose gold here. I have the brushed metallics. And so those are pretty cool too. Those are just, you can see they're just different brushed metallic foils. You can definitely see the brush lines in there. So that's pretty cool. So you could definitely, you know, make that type of metally look out of these different metallics. They're fantastic. So I just wanted to show you that you don't need just silver. You can use copper, you can use gold. There's plenty of options here for sure. So here I do have the gold and I do have the copper and of course silver. Silver is my favorite. I wear a lot of silver jewelry. So it is the one that I'm going to create with today. However, I am going to show you a design that I made using kind of the two-tone. So let me just make sure that everybody is still here with me. Beverly says she loves the metallics. That makes me happy. They're pretty fantastic. I like them too. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm going to bring in all of my goodies here. And what are you going to need? Well, you're going to need a stamp set. And today I have basic black, I have Sahara sand and white. That's right, basic white, and then I have my silver foil. So it's funny, I don't use Sahara sand very often, so I'm really, when I pulled it out, Amanda said, well, what color is that? And it was like, okay, is that River Rock? Which I know is a retired color, but this is Sahara sand, and it's so beautiful against the black. Now what I have is I'm going to bring in my Stamparatus. So if those of you that are new to embossing, this is a good little introduction to embossing as well. Now when I use my Stamparatus, I like to put a block underneath the little flap here so that I have good leverage when I am adding my ink. I'm going to use Stays On. So it's, okay, so I have to tell you a quick story. So when, I know, right? So I was working on my samples for today because I did see somebody in here, and I can't remember who, said, okay, how do you do this technique without smudges? Well, let me just tell you. I had my Stays On and I thought, okay, I need some more ink. And I grabbed Memento. That's a dye ink. This is a permanent ink. They don't go together. And I totally was just like, and I started doing my project, and my husband called and he's like, what's wrong? I was so frustrated because it was smeared all over the place, and I was a hot mess. I had such a mess. And that was because I put the wrong ink in there. So you're going to want to use a permanent ink. You're going to want to use Stays on Black ink, all right? Not Memento. It's not going to dry. So you want to use that Stays on Black. So that will definitely help you be more successful. Trust me on that one. Okay, so here we go. I have my silver foil here, and I'm just going to make sure that you can see me okay. I just went ahead and stuck my wave down, but what I'm going to do, actually I'm going to do it this direction. So what I like to do first is I like to ink up my image, okay? So I'm going to add ink to my image, and then I like to stamp it on my grid paper. Yep, and I like to do that just so, number one, I get my image kind of inked up and moist, right? Number two is I can see the placement. So it just makes it easier for me to see exactly where I need to place my foil. So what I want here today is I just kind of want the whole bottom portion of this to kind of look like the wave. And definitely want to be careful with those magnets for sure. Those guys have some serious love for one another if they get too close. So just going to ink this up really, really good. Okay, so I'm going to add, just make sure and I ink it up really good. The good thing is I am using the Stamparatus. However, the Stays On is quite sticky. So I just try to get it done with one good push down. Okay. So it's going to kind of pull it up a little bit. Oh yeah. So we are well on our way, and that's really, really pretty. Now I'm going to show you two different types of cards tonight. So I'm going to stamp that one more time. So if you hang tight with me, I am going to stamp this one more time. Yep. I'm going to stamp that one more time. It actually, I was just thinking in my head, one more time. We're gonna celebrate. You guys don't want to hear me sing. You don't want to hear Amanda sing either, let me tell you.
They don't.
No.
Yeah.
During the day, I'm like, are we listening to the same song? Mm-hmm. No, actually, she asked me that when I have my headphones in.
If I was
Okay.
singing, I'd wear headphones too.
Exactly.
I don't want to hear it either.
So there we go. We have another wave. All right. So I would just give that a second to dry, but it's really, really cool. All right. So I'm going to set that aside, and then I have, I've got my really cool little seagull, I have my sentiment, and I have my birds. So I've already cut my silver foil for these pieces. Now I am going to bring in my grid paper because I like to have it, I like to have it as I'm stamping. For scrap paper on my table. So I'm just going to kind of clean up so you can see really good and make sure that you guys can see. So Denise says she got her magnets stuck together earlier this week and couldn't even slide them slightly apart. I told you they love each other. They don't want to come apart. Holy cow. But I'm glad yours didn't break. A lot of times when they do that, they like break and then people get cranky. Which I got cranky before too. So I get it. Okay, so here we go. I love this sentiment. Your strength is an inspiration. So we're gonna ink that up in Memento Black. I like to kind of get oriented with how it's gonna stamp, okay? And so straight down, straight up, it looks pretty good. And so I'm gonna bring in my foil. Now I could certainly get this set up on the Stamparatus, but I did not do that today, and I think that's okay. It's quite easy just to kind of stamp those sentiments. So I'm not too worried about it. And you just want to make sure that you get it inked up really, really good. Okay, so straight down, straight up. Perfect. Okay, so then what we're going to do is I have my little seagull here, and I'm going to ink him up this way. I find it's easier for me just to kind of tap it on top. And then I'm going to bring my seagull in, make sure he's as straight as I can get him, and stamp him down. Okay, pretty cool. And I'm going to do the other piece. Remember, I'm going to show you two different cards today. And one is going to kind of be the Faux Metal-y one, and the other one is going to be the black ice. So here we go. I'm going to push that down and give that a good push. Oh my gosh, isn't that beautiful? Oh my gosh, I just love it. I think it's so, so pretty. So, so pretty. Who has this stamp set? I love it. The cards I've seen with it are just stunning. So this is that little bird. Now I am going to stamp him down, and the bird is a little tricky because it's easy to wiggle him. So he is almost easier with a Stamparatus. I have to like hold my breath so that I don't like, you know, cough or move or anything. Otherwise it's like slides all over the place. Not very good, but anyway. Okay, so I have my pieces here. So the first card we're going to put together, I'm going to show you the first one. Couple different things. So first off, we can glue this card together as is, right? So let's go ahead and find some glue here. Looks like I forgot my glue, so let me grab some glue. I love my liquid adhesive. I use that all the time. I always have extra here in my little stash so that I can just reach back and grab that. So it's a new one, so we got to make sure we don't get too globby, right? So I'm going to go ahead and add the front. This is, I do like to do layers. I can't remember who I was speaking to the other day that said, wow, you like lots of layers. I do. I love lots of layers and colors. So yeah, so that is one thing that I really enjoy doing, is layering things up for sure. Okay, so check this out. We can layer this up just like this. It's absolutely beautiful. But what if we go ahead and make it kind of look even more metally by adding some clear embossing powder? So let me show you what that would look like. So just recently in our holiday catalog, which is coming out, Stampin' Up! Is offering an Embossing Additions Toolkit. Now mine is messy. This is actually how it comes out of the box. In here you can see it. I've been using it like crazy, but I kind of wanted to show you. It's got these really cool little tweezers so you don't burn your fingers, the little acrylic, really nice. You've got a brush, you've got the embossing buddy in there as well. And then this is fantastic. Absolutely awesome. And so this is, like I said, coming in the holiday catalog. It's not available quite yet, but I absolutely love it. And it was one of the first things that made it on my wish list, or my, you know, my list to purchase. So here we go. Let's go ahead and bring in our wave. And I have some Versamark. Now remember, the Versamark is kind of that sticky clear ink, okay? So real sticky, kind of leaves that kind of sticky. That's what we use to emboss. So I'm just going to kind of, you know, smudge some of that onto my foil, okay? So now I have my surface here is actually stone, okay? So this is a stone type surface. So I can heat emboss on it without any problem. Now, if you do not have something like this, then you're gonna definitely want to protect your space, absolutely. So just think about that. You might use your little pierce, not the pierce mat, but the little rubber, silicone craft mat. That's exactly right. So you might put that underneath there so that you don't, you know, burn your table or your space. All right, so let's bring in our little tray, and I have clear embossing powder. Oh, we're gonna watch the magic happen. Now the nice thing about the Versamark is it doesn't dry very fast, so that's good. And so I'm just kind of, you know, sprinkling that over my foil so that I can show you how cool that's gonna look. So I'm gonna set that aside along with the embossing powder. Okay, here we go. Let's make some magic, or at least what I think is magic. I think it's super cool. I love it, love it. It is craft magic for sure. So I'm just gonna start. I like to start in the corner. It does take a second for your heat tool to kind of get heated up. And then, oh, can you see how fantastic that is? Kind of like, I like this spot right here, kind of like the bubbly. So what I find, and I haven't quite figured out how I get some of the kind of the bubbly, and then other spots I get it nice and smooth. I really don't know how I do that, but I love it. I love it so much because I think it really makes it really cool. So as you can see, hopefully you can see that melting. It's just so beautiful. And I personally don't like to cover the whole thing. So I've left some places uncovered, not as many as I would have liked, but it's still pretty awesome. It will sort of bubble up a little bit on you, but that's okay. So it does kind of bubble up a little bit, but that's okay. You can glue it flat. But doesn't that look really cool? Oh yeah, it's so cool. So cool. Okay, yeah, it's really that cool. So you're gonna need some Stampin' Dimensionals, and we're just gonna put these right behind here. All right, so we're gonna add your Stampin' Dimensionals, and then we are gonna take those off, and I'm gonna show you how beautiful it is. Whoa, that was a lot of dimensionals. They all came off at the same time. Holy cow. All right, so what did you guys think? Do you guys like that so far? It looks really cool, huh? So fun and so easy. So I'm gonna show you that black ice next here, but let's just go ahead and layer this up and just have a look. So I'm gonna center this right in the middle of my Sahara sand. And I would recommend, which we should have done it all at the same time and I didn't think about it, but here is the other piece. And so let's go ahead and do that guy as well. Where did there it is. So I have my Versamark, and let's see here. So I'm just gonna kind of maybe do wispies this time. Let's try that and see what happens there. Kind of that wispy look. And then I'm gonna put that in my little tool here, my container. And let's just sprinkle that on. And I'm gonna go a little bit lighter, I think. Even though it looks fully covered, I don't think it is. It's pretty sporadic, actually. So let's have a look at that. Here we go. This is the fun part. Oh, I just love doing this. I just think it's so fun. And so we're gonna melt this on here. And again, I want it to coordinate or to match. I want it to match the background piece that I've already created. So that's why I want to do the exact same thing here. Oh, so cool. Isn't that cool? If you haven't embossed before, I hope that I inspire you to pull out your embossing powder and to pull out your heat tool and get started. Really, just have fun with it. It's so neat. It's really fun to do. You just get this beautiful, beautiful look, and it's not hard to do once you learn how to do it, right? Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm adding some dimensionals behind this guy, and then I'm going to stick him down, and I'm going to show you how cool that looks. You ready? So here we go. We're going to add him to the top. Ooh wee, isn't that pretty? So that is super fun. So that's kind of a faux metal, right? So it is silver foil that we've embossed, and it has that metally look to it. So what if we want to try to make that more like the black ice technique? So what I would do is I would take my wave again, all right, and I'm going to show you the difference. We're going to put them next to each other and have a look at how different they are. So this is your stays on. So what you're going to do is you're going to use kind of the edge of the pad, and I am going to just add some wispies, okay? And I kind of want it darker here at my edges. I personally like that a lot. So I'm just kind of, just kind of distressing it, if you will. And I want a little bit of there as well. Now, the harder you push, obviously, the more ink you're gonna get. So I would say start light. You can always add more, okay? So I'm just very gently, and I'm gonna kind of like brush it across a little bit as well. So I'm kind of starting down, and I really love I love the dark around the edges, and it looks so cool. It's such a neat kind of distressed look that's really easy to accomplish. Okay, so we're gonna set that aside. We're gonna do the same thing with our seagull, and we're gonna we want him to match, just like we did before. Oh, look at that. Isn't that cool? Who thinks that's cool? I think it's super cool. I love it. I've had so much fun doing this. I've had more fun when it wasn't Memento Black, when it dried, right? That was definitely more fun. But yeah, so cool. Really, really cool. So just you know, you can put as much ink and distress it as much as you would like, as dark as you want. Sometimes I think less is more. I kind of liked my front image maybe not as distressed, where it was just kind of, you know, maybe not quite as much. All right, so the only other thing that I think I would like to do before I show you the embossing powder on this is I think I would like another bird on here. So I'm gonna grab my bird and I'm gonna hold my breath because again, it's a little slippery on the old foil. So I think I want him right there. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so we're gonna bring back in our different, our grid paper, okay, to protect our space. We're gonna pull our Versamark back in and let's add some Versamark. So I'm gonna do them both at the same time this time. So I'm just gonna kind of wispy across, okay? So I'm just gonna kind of, very kind of sporadically. I don't want it all covered if I can not cover the whole thing, okay? So we just added some Versamark to that one, and let's go ahead and do the same thing to this guy. We'll just add some Versamark, and he's kind of sticky, but that's okay. He won't be here in a second. All right, and you can see we didn't have to wait too long before that dried, that stays on dried. I didn't get any of that on my Versamark pad, so that is good. I'm sure some of you were maybe worried. Yeah, and if you know, if you're afraid that it's not dry yet, you could certainly, use your heat tool and maybe try to dry it. Yeah, you could just, you know, use your heat tool and just kind of, you know, blow it with the heat tool for a second so that you make sure it's good and dry. Okay, so I'm adding my powder. Now, if you guys haven't seen this yet, I'm sure most of you probably have, but if you haven't, this is really cool. You can kind of tap all your powder down to the end. And then when you open this, you know, you can just tap it right. This opens up and then you can just put it all back in your little container. Oh yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, that is awesome. That is awesome, awesome, awesome. So I'm not going to do all of that right now, but I just wanted to show you that while I was looking at it. I thought, you know, they might like to see that. So here, let's go ahead and bring our little pieces back in. Let's heat these and put our card together, and I'm going to show you the difference. All right, here we go. So we're going to heat this one, and I love this message. Oh, it's already turning out awesome. I love it. And so just by adding those, you know, those streaks, if you will, it really gives it that faux metal, that, you know, metallic black ice. Just really, really a neat technique where you could do lots of fun things with the background. It would be a beautiful background for just about any image. All right, so let's move to this one. So cool. And once your heat tool is warm, you know, it just kind of moves through pretty good. Now, you don't want to stay in the same spot, right? Because we certainly don't want to burn a hole in it, which I don't know that would happen. But it definitely, you want to just kind of keep moving for sure. And I hope that you can see how cool that looks on camera. It's pretty fantastic. And can you see kind of the bumpies in there that make it look like that metal and that texture? Really neat, really neat. Okay, so I think that's all done now. Okay. So here we go. Let's go ahead and just put this one together, and then I'm going to show you a couple other ideas. So I'm going to do this one the exact same way that I did the other one because I want to show you the differences and how it looks. So that's actually for my inside right there. So I just want to show you kind of, you know, how the black ice looks compared to just kind of the faux metal. So let's put this guy together really quick and see what it looks like. Oh, Miss Amanda, are they enjoying this? Are you guys liking it so far?
Loving it.
Yay, that makes me so happy. Megan asked me, okay, what do you want to work on? And I said, Megan, I want to do the black ice. I love the technique. And she was like, oh, I think that's great. Yeah. And so it was fun kind of, talking with her and brainstorming that. And okay, so here we go. I am going to add my little dimensionals. Yeah, I go a little excessive on this here. I think it's just because it's so big, but then I look at the small one and then I'm like, okay, well, you went a little excessive on that one too. But I just want to make sure that it stays good and stuck, good and secure. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this one down. It looks like this dimensional needed to take its back off too. Okay, so let's see what we have. I'm going to center and adhere this one. Oh, wow, isn't that beautiful? Now I also did this on Pool Party too, and I'm going to show you the original card that I made. I did it on Pool Party, and Dylan, my son, inspired me to try it this way. So then I was like, that's perfect, because now I have 2 ideas to show you, which made me very happy. So there you go. So this is the first one. You can see kind of that, that brushed metal. So that really cool, that black ice. Such a fun technique. And then this one here, this one is just kind of the faux metal. All I did was emboss on this one. I didn't do anything else, but I have something else to show you. What about this one? Just as cool. This one is no embossing on it whatsoever. It's just the foil. Yeah, so this one is just the silver foil with no embossing whatsoever. So just to kind of show you, so I guess this would be the progression of it. Yeah. So you've got the foil, then you've got, if you just wanted to do clear embossing powder, if you wanted to kind of jump in and play with your stays on, well then, you could do that as well. So if you like this so far, please give me a thumbs up. I would be so grateful if you would do that. Give me a like, click the like button. And of course, if you haven't already subscribed, be sure to do so. I've got more projects coming for you soon. So I hope that, that you subscribe so that you're notified of those videos. And of course, if you haven't, speaking of subscribing, if you haven't subscribed for my beginner series, make sure you go to BrandysCards.com/beginners and make sure that you subscribe there so that you are notified and you receive those emails of when we're publishing those videos. As of right now, Wednesday nights, join me for those beginner series. We're just having so much fun. The last one we did was on scoring. And the one before that, we talked about how to mail your cards. Yeah, that was a good one. So Miss Amanda helped research a lot of that for me. She helps me with a lot of my mail. And so I was asking questions and she was helping me research, and I'm thrilled to pieces that you guys enjoyed that. It was awesome. It was really, really cool. So if you haven't seen that, make sure that you go back and watch that video. Again, that's at BrandysCards.com/beginners. You'll see that there. Okay, so let's move on to the next card. Now this card, oh yeah, so here, wait, let me show you. This was the original one. So this one was my original card with the pool party in the background. And then that's when Dylan said, well, how about, he wanted a little bit more of an edge. He's like, Mom, how about, maybe make because he wanted to see the blue a little bit more. And so we kind of changed it up together a little bit. But this one is, it doesn't have anything popped up, but you certainly could, absolutely. So there's that one. Oh, and then I did the pool party in the white on the inside. And I believe on this card, I did the exact same thing. And so this one is the basic white, and this the Sahara sand, and then on the inside, I did Sahara sand basic white, because I'm gonna wanna write on the white. And before I move on, I also did my envelope. And so I just had a piece of this scrap foil that I distressed, and I also embossed it so that it matched. And so I added that to my flap. And I also thought this was kind of cool. I thought it would be kind of fun to add, to glue a couple of these boxes or rectangles here on the front that coordinated with the card. And you could literally put a white label right here. That would be perfectly fine. Your stamp, of course, and then, You might have to just squeeze your return address or, make this a little bit smaller. Or maybe this is a card that you're going to hand somebody, so you really don't need a return address or a stamp. But really a lot of fun. I love to create my envelopes. I love to do stuff with those. So fun. Okay, so this is the In the Moment stamp set. And I thought, okay, this one would be fantastic for this. So I'm going to show you the card that I created with this stamp set. Whoops. So this one I used Blushing Bride. Yeah, Blushing Bride. And I stamped the girl and I did the exact same technique. Exact same thing. And then I popped it up on there with my foam adhesive dots. And then I also did You're in My Thoughts. I just wanted something that was very subtle. And I wrapped, it was just a scrap piece, and I wrapped it around. Now I did make it kind of metally with the clear embossing powder. And then I wrapped it around, secured it in the back. And so that's how I did that one. Yeah, so fun. So, there was a stamp set, I think it was called like Beautiful Moments or something like that. That one would be really cool too. So definitely pull some of those older stamp sets out and have a look. There's so many things that you can do. Speaking of older stamp sets, if you go to BrandysCards.com, I have an online store there, and it is my retired store. And I was just going to grab Switcher here and see if I couldn't pull that up. So on my retired store, we have just uploaded a lot of different things. My mother-in-law loves to work on that. So, so if you haven't been to my retired store, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Right now I'm on the beginner series, so that's pretty cool. So you can click on BrandysCards.com. You can also click on my beginner series here, and then you can have a look at the beginner series tutorials and videos. Another cool thing here is you can click on View Series 1, and that's going to take you to my series number 1. And all of those videos are there. We have some downloads as well, so you can have a look at that. So those are for you. Those are, resources that you can use to help you in your crafting. But what I really wanted to show you up here was my retired store. So under My Sites is my retired store. And then you would just scroll down and you can see all kinds of retired sets. And they are definitely discounted for sure. And there are several pages of these. So definitely make sure that you have a look. I love all of these sets, and I wish that I could save them all. I would hold on to all of them if I could, but I can't. And the fact, that they're kind of sitting there waiting for some love, I would love nothing more than to send them a home where they would be used and loved. The other thing I just kind of want to point out on here is our Summer Creative 8 Retreat is July 22nd and 23rd. And so registration for that retreat is going to open up on June 24th. So if you've joined me for the retreat before, I hope that you have loved it and you enjoyed it. It's always so much fun, so many ideas, so much inspiration. I hope those of you that joined us on the last one, you're still kind of creating, and that way you're ready for the next one that we've got coming. So again, we're going to do the early bird tutorials again. So if you register within the first 3 days, starting June 24th, you'll get 4 additional bonus tutorials. So we're really excited about that. I just finished my tutorial, and it's very colorful. Might use some glimmer paper, some in-color glimmer paper. And so it is bright, cheerful, and I think it will be a lot of fun to create. That's all I can tell you. I can't tell you any more than that, because I hope that you join us at the retreat. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so hello, Patricia. Okay, so let's move on and let me show you the next stamp set. And let's see here. Let's just have a look at this. This is the Christmas Barn. Now this stamp set is in your holiday catalog. I believe it has dies. However, I forgot to grab those because I didn't actually use them today. So I don't think I grabbed those, but this is such a cute set. I really, really like it. And so I thought that I would quickly kind of show you the card that I designed with it. So one thing that I love about my Stamparatus is I can change plates. Yeah, that is like the coolest thing, that I can prepare ahead of time and change my plates. So that is really, really cool. So what I'm going to do is I actually stamped my first barn on scrap paper. That's what I did first, is I stamped it on scrap paper, and then I die cut it, or I actually hand cut it out. I didn't really need to die cut it. So this is Post-it note, so there's a little bit of sticky there. And then I just kind of cut it out because I want to use it for masking. The other thing I want to do is I want to ink it up. Now, yes, this is a photopolymer stamp. And yes, you don't want to leave stays on your photopolymer stamps. You want to make sure that you clean it as soon as you're done. Now, when I talk about cleaning it, you're going to want to use, a stays on remover to clean it. But then I would highly recommend that you use a mist and you clean it again, or you use, some mild soap and water and get it nice and clean. Okay. The stamp that I just inked up, you could see I have already created with that, and I haven't had, it was totally, there was no inks left on it. It was totally fine. So I didn't push very hard on that one, so I just need to add a little bit more ink. And I have the Versamark there. I personally like to put a block there for some good leverage. So
That's a great idea.
Yeah? You like that idea? I love it. It really helps to kind of hold it nice and firm, so I'm not kind of putting it on an angle, right?
Yeah, that's my problem, and I feel like I don't get a good ink on it.
Yeah.
I always have to, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Awesome. All right. So yeah, so look at that. No, just kidding. That is horrible. All right. I just wanted to kind of get placement. That was the only reason that I wanted to do that. And so I think what I want to do, and I want to get my stamp inked up. So I think I'm going to put my barn right about there. Does that look pretty good? I think so. So let's go ahead and add our little magnets. Okay. So here we go. Let's ink this guy back up. Ink it up, ink it up. And we are going to stamp that on our foil. Now, I'm not going to do the black ice technique for you, but I am going to show you a finished card. Okay. So I'm just going to add this on here. Now, the thing with the stays on is it's quite sticky, so even the magnets do not hold it very well. So you're going to want to, you're not going to be able to stamp back down on it because you are going to get kind of that out of focus image. Now what I'm going to do is I personally find it's easier just to put this guy on a block and then clean it. So I'm going to put a little, just a dab of stays on there. And I am going to go ahead and clean it because remember, if you don't, it can ruin your photopolymer stamps. And then when we're done here tonight, I will clean that again with some mild, mild soap or water or my mist. So I'll just make sure that that residue from that stays on is gone. So that's what's most important, okay? All right, so up next, I'm going to put this aside. And is everybody having fun? I hope so. Gosh, I feel like it's been forever. So I'm so happy to be here with you tonight. And I think my husband's getting ready to give me a card that says, you've been on for 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Oh my gosh. So I hope that you guys are having fun, and I hope that, that it's okay. I'm so glad that you're here. I feel like it's been so long, and just really looked forward to this. So here we go. I have my mask that I created with my Post-it note. Okay. And I've already inked up I didn't ink up my tree, but I did mount it. So I guess I do need some scrap paper again because I don't want to stamp that on my table. Although this surface that I have here is pretty phenomenal. I can actually color on it with a Stampin' Blend. It's called Decon, and it's pretty amazing. I can actually clean all of that off quite easily. So here we go. Again, the reason for the mask is so that I can get my tree fairly close and that I don't ruin my image or my barn. Okay, so I'm going to stamp that down. Oh, that's so cool. So cool. I like how it peels off of there. And then I think this one, I'm going to come up a little bit higher, right about in there. Okay, we're going to peel that off. And I think I'm going to do one more. And I think this one's going to be down maybe a little bit lower. Okay. And then of course, when you take off your mask, well, now you can see you have this really cool scene, right? So before I clean that, I'm going to go ahead and ink up Merry Christmas to you and yours. Okay, so Merry Christmas to you and yours. It's kind of crazy to think we have a holiday catalog already. Holy moly. All right, so.
It's like a whole new meaning to Christmas in
Oh
July.
my gosh, right? Holy cow. And so steady hand here. And I'm going to pull that up. Oh, isn't that the coolest? If you don't think that's cool, it is so cool. I just think it's so neat. Like the crisp image and just the scenery that you can make. Oh, so fun. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just, clean this really quick because it is definitely very important with stays on. So I just want to kind of get that off of my stamp so that I don't have any troubles. Okay. So yeah, you don't ever want to leave that stays on those stamps ever. No. Okay, so again, if you wanted to do that black ice technique, you certainly could. You're going to need your stays on, and you can absolutely come, back across it if you wanted to, just like that, and add that kind of fun, distressed black ice look, right? And then once you do, and you add your embossing to that, check this out. Okay, so check this out. This is the card that I created after I did that. Yeah, how fun. And so I added my embossing powder, and this was one of the stamps that was in the set. Okay, where did the stamp set go? Here it is. And so this is the wreath that's actually in the stamp set. So I stamped that in garden green, and I just took some blends, but you can, you could certainly color with whatever you would like to color with. But I just took some Stampin' Blends and I added a bit of color to that. So that is how I was able to get that really cool kind of effect. I thought it was a little different. What do you think? Do you like having that on there? The little pop of color I thought was quite nice. So, and then I added a new little pearl. Now these festive pearls, I actually don't have any to show you because I've been using them like crazy. And I was only allowed to pre-order 2 packages. So when I can get some more, I will be sure to share those with you for sure. Okay, so I have some more cards to share with you. I don't have the tutorials. That's because a couple of years ago, I shared these cards on the Creativate retreat. So it was a couple years ago, and I don't have the tutorials. If you'd like to purchase them, you certainly can do that. Just reach out to me and let me know. But I'm going to show them to you. You might get some ideas from seeing these cards. Okay, so here's the first one. So this one, soar confidently in your own sky. And so if you remember that stamp set, it was fantastic. I loved it. I was sad that it retired. And this one, you're a blessing in my life. And so this cross looks and feels just like, it looks like metal. It's really cool. Really, really cool. And so that one was also with this exact same black ice technique. Now this one I have not shown to anyone, but this set I think is absolutely precious. And the love only grows. And so again, it's the same type of look. This one just really kind of brings me back to my dad and kind of looking up at him. I don't know, this one just really is pretty, just means a lot. I really like it a lot. Now my most favorite was the two-tone. And so check this one out. So fun. So this is copper, and I did the exact same thing with your clear embossing powder. Do you see? I added the clear embossing powder and I melted that on the copper foil I stamped my hands, and then I did the faux metal with the silver. And then I stamped those hands again in the I love you on copper, and I cut them out, but I did emboss it and make it kind of metally. And so that's how I did this card. So I thought that was really fun when you think about mixing the metals and the different colors, you know, or thinking about adding your pop of color. So many fun things that you can do, really. So, you know, you just got to jump out there and give stuff a try. That's what I think. Just, you know, let's see. These are, oh, is this the same one? Yeah, okay. Just making sure. So I'm going to pull in some of the cards that we made tonight. As always, I thoroughly enjoy it when you leave me comments and you share with me, you know, what cards you enjoyed. I love to hear if you've enjoyed tonight's crafting session, of course. I sure do enjoy creating with you. Now, if you would like, if you go to BrandysCards.com, I do have some of these tutorials here for you. So you can go into BrandysCards.com and you'll find this blog post, and the tutorials are there for you to download and to print. And so definitely make sure that you do that. I'm going to look down. Belinda says she's going to try this. That is awesome. The hand one is so moving. It is, Denise. It's absolutely lovely, right? It just has such meaning. So pretty cool. And Susan says she likes it with the two colors too. And love the Christmas barn. Yes, the Christmas barn stamp set is a must-have. It's coming in the holiday catalog. So I did not post a tutorial on that. I don't have you know, pictures of some of the images yet, but I will eventually here by July 1st. So I'll definitely get those posted. So for those of you, you know, joining me tonight, thank you for being here and sharing your night with me. I truly appreciate it, and I hope that I've inspired you to get into your craft room tonight or this weekend and craft. I hope to be crafting myself this weekend and making some more projects to share with you. I love it so much, and I'm so grateful for your comments, your encouragement. Thank you for your business. If you're a BrandysCards customer, thank you. If you're one of my team members, welcome. I'm so grateful for you too. We just had a new team member promotion in May, or yeah, it was May. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we're in June. And so we just welcomed so many new team members, and I'm so excited about that. We're working on our Team Craft Day. We're working on a team event here in Huntersville. And we're also going to be going out, you know, out into, where are we going for on stage? Indianapolis, yeah. So we're going to be going into Indianapolis in November, and very excited about that too. So lots of good things going on.
We'll have a fun time.
Yes,
Doug's
Amanda.
not going, so we're gonna have lots of adventures.
Amanda's like, yeah, Doug's not going, so it's going to be a girls' trip. We're excited. But thank you so much for being here. Of course, if you don't have a demonstrator, please let me know. Would love the opportunity to help you and earn your business. And of course, if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Catalog, be sure to go to BrandysCards.com/contact. Send me an email so I can get you one of those right away. And if you haven't already clicked the like button or the thumbs up, be sure to do so. I really appreciate that, and it helps me grow my channels and hopefully reach other crafters that are looking for inspiration. Thank you for joining me today, guys. Until next time, happy stamping!